Hello guys, so a member of our tribe tagged me on a particular post that was made on a blog about the effects of essential oils on the reproductive system of growing children. And in that post, the post was essentially talking about people who use certain essential oils in their kids, and their kids started having reproductive or supposed reproductive issues. So basically, just to buttress this, because actually what that post was saying is true, but a lot of people need to be aware that certain essential oils can have this effect. Okay, so by virtue of some of the chemicals that are in the essential oils, there can be an endocrine disrupting effect that those chemicals have on the body. So anything that has an endocrine disrupting effect can also affect some reproductive parameters in the body. So you find out that children that they use some of these essential oils for, particularly lavender, which is the most popular. Lavender oil is very popular because it smells nice. People use it in skincare indiscriminately. But lavender oil has been linked to gynaecomastia in growing little boys that haven't even gotten to puberty, and has also been linked to something called the thelarche. Okay, so what that means is that, you know, the breasts are developing like an adult's breasts are developing in a young child that hasn't even gotten to the age of puberty. So it is true. In fact, there are a number of confirmed cases with these particular oils. Now, lavender oil, number one. Number two, tea tree oil. Now, these are the most popular. It doesn't mean that the other oils cannot have this effect. They can. However, these two oils, because of how popular they are and how widely used they are, they can also have this effect. So basically, there are certain chemicals in the essential oils that are responsible for this action. I'm going to list them. Now, what you need to realize is that a lot of these essential oils, they all have these chemicals. Well, many of them do, some don't, some do. You know, the composition of oils can be varied. Okay, while lavender oil and tea tree oil has a lot of these chemicals, but other essential oils too might have them. So you need to look carefully at the plant chemicals I'm going to mention. So any essential oil you want to use, check, do your research to see if it has been reported that it contains that, and don't use it for a child. Don't put it in your child's skincare. In fact, don't use lavender oil for children. So there are 6 volatile compounds that are commonly found in essential oils that you should watch out for. Now, like I said earlier on, you know, essential oils are made up of different chemical compounds, varying composition. So you could see one essential oil that may have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or even 6 of these compounds. Now, this is by no means exhaustive, because there could be other compounds that have not been identified as either estrogenic or as an endocrine disruptor. So these are just the 6 common ones that have been identified. Number 1 is Linalyl acetate. Number 2 is Linalool. Number 3 is alpha terpinene. Number 4 is gamma terpinene. Number 5 is 4-terpineol. Number 6 is alpha terpineol. Now, these 6 volatile compounds, they have been shown to be endocrine disruptors. Now, they are not all the same, because, you know, when you have chemical compounds that mimic estrogen, for instance, they have their own strengths. The strength or the binding strength of each of those compounds to estrogen receptors actually is what determines how potent they are or how much of an effect it can have. Now, from the more research that I have read on this subject, what they even said was that it's not the application of essential oils to the body doesn't have systemic effects. That means that it passes through your skin and goes into your bloodstream, that it doesn't really have it, that it acts locally. And you know, for most women, and they found out in most cases, the problem with the lavender oil is that, you know, the men apply it around their chest while women apply it around their face. Okay, they also found out that there are some racial predispositions to how it affects people. So some races are not as affected as other races. Yeah, so it's something that one needs to watch out for and you need to be aware of. So if you have an essential oil, for instance, do your own research, look up these 6 compounds and see the content of it, and that will advise you whether you should use that essential oil or not. Please note, as I said earlier on, that it is not, these 6 chemical compounds is not an exhaustive list. There could be more. It's just that they haven't been identified yet, but these ones are the main ones. And the main essential oils to watch out for are lavender oil and tea tree oil. They are the 2 most notorious ones. The other oils too could also have these chemical compounds, so you also need to be careful about that. Now, to check the composition of essential oils, it might be a little bit tricky. You could try Google. If you can't get it on Google, you can ask somebody who is a plant chemist to look up the composition, you know. But most times you can get this information off Google. If they have an oil from a plant, an essential oil, you can equally find out its main composition. So if you look through and you see any of these chemicals, plant chemicals I mentioned, then you know that you should possibly just avoid them, especially for growing children, you know, because this happens mostly in children that haven't entered the age of puberty. So it affects them. It makes the boys start growing breasts, and also the girls start growing breasts at a very young age. Yes, due to its effect on the hormones in the body. So that was my take, and I'd like to say thank you to the member of our tribe that tagged me to that post. Because it's an educational post, and these are things people should be aware of and know that, because they affect our health, and most times we are not even aware that these things have these effects on our health.